All right, guys, today was another exciting day trading. And as a beginner trading, today was very impressive. And if you were paying attention at all to all the different stocks out there today, or at least the two stocks that made moves today, you would know that they made some impressive moves today. Today's big top gainer was GNLN, and it made an impressive over 700% move today. So if you caught any percentage of that move today, you did very well. The stock just went up and up and more up. It was impressive to watch. And kind of an interesting story I want to share about it, but let's go over some of the details on this particular stock. Now, I traded two different stocks today. I traded one stock today. The downside was I did not trade this stock at all today, and there was a reason behind it. I will go over why I did not trade this stock today. And it wasn't because there was some kind of issue with it or anything like that. I'll get into that. So to kind of keep you in suspense here. So let's go over this stock real quick. To start, GNLN had basically everything for a recipe to fit everything that we had this morning. I mean, this stock was very impressive. When we look at it, the float, very low, 500,000 shares. Very good. We went under 20 million. Average volume, 820,000. Today's volume, 47 million. So we were definitely 5 times relative volume. We were like more like 47 times relative volume today. Huge numbers. So can't complain with that. When you got those numbers, it's great. And when your stock is up, initially 200 or 300% in the beginning of the day, that was impressive. Now, this stock didn't move up at 7 o'clock. This stock had news right around 8:30 this morning, and it started to take off. And what a lot of times happen is these algorithms in the market, once news comes out, and depending on what the news is, will start to buy shares up of this stock, and that will start to push it up. And then retail traders like me and a lot of other people will jump in and start buying shares. Now, this thing started to move up, and you could probably have jumped in right about in this area where it started to plateau a little bit. We had this dip right here, and you could have probably bought in for a good move up right there to catch a good momentum right there. And you could have done a couple of other trades here and here would have been good, and maybe in here possibly. But after that, it kind of fell back off, and we got onto the backside of the move. It was okay at that point. Now, I did not trade this, as I said. It went up to $10. I mean, this stock, that's a big move. It started out at $2.34 all the way down here and moved up to $10. I mean, that's an 8-point move in itself. And a lot of times when it does something like that, coming back to another high of day, that's probably going to be tough to do. And especially when I seen at the open on this particular stock, this big red volume bar was just like, here it goes again. It's just going to sell off all day and it's done. And this thing literally traveled sideways all day today until about 2:45. And then I will show you what happened. It kept going sideways and sideways. And then all of a sudden, this stock just boom. It blew up. It made this huge move. Literally went from $9.25 up to like $12, just like that. I mean, big, huge move today, and just started going up and up and up, and topped out at about $17.40, which was an incredible move. If you get any piece of this trade in here, you did extremely well. You made some money today. So. But that wasn't the end of it. It kind of went sideways, and then it went up again. I'll get rid of that line. Okay, so went up again, and then right before the close at 4 o'clock, this thing sold off like mad and went sideways. Now, what I will say about this stock, I did not take a trade on it today. This 700% gainer, I did not take a trade on it. Why did I not take a trade on this? I mean, you'd have been crazy not to take trades on this stock today, because other people I know who have taken trade made a lot of money on this stock today. And why didn't I not trade it? Because I already took my trades at 7 a.m. this morning before this trade happened. And so here's the thing. when I take a trade, I'm going to be in a small account. And in being in a small account, I'm going to be in a cash account. And here's the deal. When you use a cash account, your buying power, so if I use, let's say, $800 of my buying power as the initial trade of the day, and that means I will not be able to have that buying power back after a day. It's going to take a day for that trade to settle, and I will not have that buying power back. So guess what? If I were to actually take the trade, I'm trying to live to the rules, I guess what I'm saying here, is that if I would take that trade, I actually wouldn't be able to take that trade when I go to that account. So I kind of take it as in good faith that I'm not being able to take the trade, even though I would love to have taken that trade because I looked seriously at taking the trade at that point. But I did not. I decided, you know what? I'm going to hold off. I'm going to just play it safe and just not take the trade and just, say it would have been great, but you know what? I can't do it because I don't surpass the PDT rules. I'm going to be starting with a $1,000 cash account and I'm going to just leave it as it is. But honestly, I saw this initial move starting to creep up, and it was kind of funny. I turned my computer on. I was at work, and I was just thought, well, let's pull up the charts real quick and see what's going on with this stock. And I pulled it up, and this thing was just started just like that, started to make this candle right there, and it was just blowing up. I think this thing went up like $2, 2 points within about 3 seconds. And it was just amazing to watch. So it doesn't look, sometimes the screens don't do it justice, so I kind of spread it out like this, but just some of the moves. I mean, it had a pretty big pullback right here, dip, but it did rally back and kept on moving and even made a higher move. It's just, this is amazing moves. So if you got in on this, you did great. So I couldn't take part in that for obvious reasons. If we look at, today I took my first move when I got up this morning. I pulled out my scanner, which looks like this, and I started to think, could I make a move today? And my answer was, what was I going to focus on? And the first thing I started seeing this morning was PSIG, and I wasn't really real big on this, even though it fit a lot of my criteria. The float was probably the biggest problem with it, being at 24 million, but the volume was up 16 million. It was up, I think at this point was up 40, 50 or 60%, somewhere in there. And so this probably was our top gainer, PSIG. But when I look down the rest of the scan, we look at this, that was out. We look at, so that stock was out. AMID was out because it was a penny stock below $1, another stock below $1. Key looked okay. It was a higher price stock, which I like a little bit less because I have a smaller account. Less than $10 is kind of nice. But I just can't take huge share size on something like this. But it had 943 million in the float, so that kind of pushed that one out. And then we get down to ADAP, 256 million in the float, too high. PRTG, again, penny stock. APHI, this one's 38 million, too high float. PMNN, 19 million. This could have been, but by this point, I mean, our volume was only 2,000 at that point, so too low. I mean, and it was only up 13% as well on the day, which, is above my 10%. But, when everybody's seeing 80%, this is where all the eyeballs are going to be at right there. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to stay away from that stock. The rest of these stocks, I'm going to just look at this. And that was really the only thing going on this morning. So that's where I decided to just stick with that one stock. So again, the stock I went to today was PSIG. Now, I don't know if it exactly had any news. I think it had something. Handed on writing, that's already average daily volume, but lacks news. So it didn't have any news on it at all, really. And I couldn't, some days that's just what it is. Maybe somebody just decided to buy up a bunch of that stock and it just became the catalyst, and that's what it was. So looking at the stock metrics overall, the float a bit high, almost 22 million. So not typically want it, but I could bend the rules just a little bit to see. Average volume 7.43 million. So, and in the actual volume 182 million. So, we were at 5 times relative volume, pretty easy on this stock as well. Was it the stock that I should have focused on all day? It could have been. But my move really came in at 7 o'clock this morning. That's where I decided to get in on this stock overall, because 7 o'clock is where a lot of the trading again comes in. And so let's zoom in on this a little bit. Where I came in today was right in here. So, and I know that's hard to see, so we'll kind of stretch this out a little bit to show it a little better. But right at about 7 o'clock, I looked at this stock. I jumped in. I actually made 3 trades on this particular stock. I started with 400 shares, made a nice trade, went up to like 20 bucks. The second trade I lost I think 3 bucks, 2 bucks on, and then I gained back another $5 and got up to a P&L today of $22 to make it another green day. So keeping the green day streak going, keeping things rolling. I did good there. So I'm pushing. I was trying to get up to, and it's not good to push your P&L and all that, but I was just trying to get over $1,200. I was trying to hit that one milestone in there. That, man, if I can get up to $1,200, that's a $200 gain. And now, here's to be honest. I started this challenge to myself back in May. I think it was like the second last week in May, right at the end of the week there. And I think overall, let's go back and look real quick when I started this challenge. May 21st, that's when I started this challenge. And in that time, overall, I have gone up $195.29. Now, if you figure that out, that's an almost 20% gain in what? 3 months? Considering part of this month, part of that month. So April, May, June, July. So 4 months, 4 or 5 months of time. Not bad. 20%. I mean, you tell me in a savings account that's going to get 20% in 4 or 5 months. It's not going to happen. They just don't get that. You might get 5% out of a savings account, but you can't get, 20% on a savings account. It just don't work like that. So, not huge returns, not stellar returns, but again, base hits, just trying to keep things good, trying to keep things moving, adding to my score every day, following my rules and following my strategy. That's the most important thing. Follow those things. Don't try to go crazy and like, Tesla's going up today, or, Walmart or whatever stock is just making a big move. No, I want to follow my strategy, and my strategy is are these stocks, the stocks that are priced between $1 and $20. They're moving up 5 times relative volume. They're leading gainers. They've got news. So those are the stocks that I'm trying to trade here, and I've talked about those in previous videos that you can check out. I'll put a link to that on the stocks that I choose, so you can definitely check all that out. So overall, definitely want to keep an eye out, because I feel like GNLN is definitely poised to make another move. So since this move happened early in the day, but then we got this news on it. There was some news on it. I can't remember what it was, but something did come out on this stock. It did come out, and it did move higher. So I have a feeling this may have a continuation tomorrow. So I'll be on the lookout for this stock tomorrow, just to keep an eye on it. It may do nothing, but we'll see. So overall, a great day today. Did okay. Got 22 bucks. Wish I could have done far better than that, but in time I will get there. I'm just a beginner. If you'd like to follow along, you can come check out my YouTube channel, subscribe, check out my daily videos when I'm trading throughout the week. Trying to stay daily with this, not always going to happen, but I'm trying to put out videos as much as possible, just to share my stuff as I learn to day trade. So I'll see you in the next video.